All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 525 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football, and we're going to continue that trend of talking Georgia Southern. I mean, we've been on the Falcons for the past few, days, and yesterday we talked about Georgia Southern, their signing day, and as at the time I did the show, it was only one kid that was signed. Now we got a total of 3 that are huge commitments. But we're going to talk about one real quick that we knew that was going to commit, but he ended up, making it official today. So we're going to talk about him real quick. And then we're going to get to the other 3 that's on the screen. So if you're watching on YouTube and Rumble, the 3 guys that are committed, these guys are going to be pretty special in my opinion. I know I say this a lot about these commits, but I just think every kid that's going to come to Georgia Southern is special. It's one of the reasons why you come to Georgia Southern, right? But we're going to talk about these guys and give you my thoughts and opinions about them. So before I get into my intro, or whatever the case may be, Jaden McCall, I think I said that right. Jaden McCall, 3-star tight end out of Niceville, Florida. He ended up signing with Georgia Southern officially yesterday as well. Did it at Niceville College, and it was an awesome thing because we were looking for tight ends. So now we have we got him on board as well as the other ones that we have as well. I mean, it's just it's a lot of talent coming to Georgia Southern. I mean, when you have guys, the tight end from Kentucky coming in, which we have another commit from Kentucky that's going to be here, and you got this guy as well. You got McCall. It's just going to be a beautiful thing. So I can't wait to continue to see how these guys mesh together and make something happen. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. So if you want to listen to the show at any time, you can use the podcast avenue. This show is brought to you by BetUS. Click that link down in the description. If you put down $100, you get a 125% bet book bonus. You can basically double your money and put wagers on anything pertaining to sports and even esports. I highly recommend it. The Super Bowl is coming up. The NBA is here. You got MMA. You have college basketball. All those great things are going on right now. That will be awesome, and it helps the show. Also, if you want to support the show in other ways, I have my CashApp and my PayPal down there. Or you could just subscribe to any of the avenues to listen to the show at your leisure. All that works out. I really would appreciate it. Now, enough of all that talk. We got that out of the way. Now, let's get into the show. And we're going to talk about the 2 guys that committed from high school. We got the one that transferred from Kentucky. I want to get the high school kids out of the way first because I think this is phenomenal that we got these 2. Yesterday, I talked about a little bit about Keon Wallace, 6'3", 210, coming from Effingham County, from Springfield, Georgia, right to Statesboro. He's probably taking a 30 to 35-minute drive to school. It is great to keep the homegrown, talent in-house close to the area because it just helps the fellowship and the brotherhood and the family ties in the area. It's tough when you see a kid. In my opinion, it's tough to see a kid that's from one area and end up having to go a few states over to be on a team. It's tough. It really is. And, when you have that support, it's great. But sometimes it's good to have those kids to be local. And for him to come in and the talent that he possesses, not only to play football, he played basketball as well. And you could make the case that he could have been a pretty good basketball player because he averaged, almost 16 points a game as a junior in high school. So he got some skills. So you got an athletic guy who's probably going to be able to go up and catch the football at the highest point, just like grabbing a rebound. And he has some athletic ability. So at 6'3", 210, this is a phenomenal pickup for Keon Wallace. I talked about him earlier in the last episode. So love to see the fact that he's coming to Georgia Southern. Big time pickup for the Eagles. Now, the next one is one that came out of nowhere. I did not see this coming at all. I want to make sure I say his name right because it's spelled very uniquely. I guess that's the word, uniquely. But it's a very unique spelling of the word of his name. So I don't know how to pronounce this. So if I get it wrong, please don't beat me up. I know Miss Mathis, I saw her on Twitter. She retweeted one of my tweet about him. So hopefully she'll correct me. So I want to say this is Kamon Mathis. I think I said that right. Kamon Mathis, defensive back, 6 foot, 175 pounds from DeSoto, Texas. So when I talked about somebody who's going to be in-house and homegrown, we got somebody that's coming over for 3 to 4 states over. One thing about this kid right here, he had over a dozen offers from places from like, it was just amazing, from Arizona all the way to Buffalo down to Georgia Tech. He even had, a lot of places from the state of Florida. Sam Houston wanted his services. I mean, it was phenomenal that all these schools that wanted his services, even Louisville, wanted his services. Ole Miss wanted his services, but he decided to come to Georgia Southern. This is a great pickup for Georgia Southern. One thing about him, he extremely talented. And one thing that we wanted to do was booster up what we could do on the side of, the secondary. The secondary was one of our weakest points. We had Derek Canteen, and the fact that he went on to Virginia Tech, it was going to be really interesting to see who he could pick up with this type of caliber, with that high caliber of play. Now, we did get some other guys that is going to be that has been recruited, for Georgia Southern, as far as defensive backs and all these other other players that we picked up in the secondary. So it's going to be really good to see that secondary is going to be boosted up in this 4-2-5 defense. Because one thing that we wanted to do is get better in that area. So when you have, guys like Mathis, and then you turn right back around, and then you get some other guys at the position that's going to be, pretty stout. Some of the guys that are transferring in from other schools, like a TJ Smith, or you have Devon Ferguson, Cameron Williams from from Washington. When you have those type of guys that are out there that are coming in, and then you have other guys that's going to be actually contributing as well, this is going to be a really good, group of guys. So it's really cool to see guys like Keon Wallace, and now we got Kamon Mathis, that looks like it's going to be really, really good, possibly coming out the gate. Even if they don't start right away or play right away, they could contribute in other ways, down the line. And one thing, like I said in the last episode, I like the fact that Coach Clay Helton don't mind putting freshmen out there if they're about that life. Like I said, Sean Wimley's of the world, Jet Thompson got a chance to play, Marcus Sanders, Mark Stampley. That's another defensive back that excelled, throughout the throughout the season, got better. So, we have kids here that's going to be developing very well, and it all starts with the recruiting. Shout out to Coach Clay Helton. Shout out to Brian Ellis. Shout out to Coach Harris. These guys are doing a phenomenal job, and everybody that's under that umbrella who's doing great things. Georgia Southern is not slowing down at all. And this goes to show you that we got another commitment from the state of Kentucky. He was at Kentucky. He's transferring down here, and at the wide receiver, Rashawn Lewis. Now, Rashawn Lewis is another kid that transferred from Kentucky, just like the other kid, the tight end that we did pick up, Keaton Upshaw. So he's going to be playing along with his former teammate. And we also had another, the quarterback that we had, I think it was Bo Allen, was another one. So all three of these guys are basically getting back together to play at Georgia Southern. And it just goes back to show you that we're getting pretty good talent all over the place. We're getting talent all over the place, and it is a really good thing. One thing about Rashawn Lewis, you may not know, he is the son of Ray Lewis. So that is a really good, cool type of pedigree to have when it comes to, just that family, line that's going to be tied to Georgia Southern now. Now, on top of that is he did not do much in his last season at Kentucky. He did have a pretty good game against Mississippi State. He had 4 catches for 42 yards, ended the season with 6 catches for 65 yards. Didn't get that much playing time, but with him being here, it's going to be his last year eligibility. I'm almost certain that he's going to find a way in the rotation with the other receivers. Like right now, we got maybe like 12 receivers. and all of them are pretty good. And about out of 12 of them, maybe 10 of them could be number ones, depending on where they go. So we're going to be spreading the ball around. Absolutely. Davis Brin, did I say that right? I want to make sure I said his name right. Yeah, Davis Brin, probably going to be the starter right away. And he's going to be, putting it out there. JC French is another. So you just don't know who's going to be the quarterback, but whoever's behind the center, they're going to be able to do some things. Because you still got guys who come in there like a Jaleb Barton, Anthony Queeley. You also have the other guys that was already here. I just mentioned Keon Wallace. He's going to be here. Then you got the KD Dorseys, and you just got some good guys. DeAndre Buchanan. I mean, we're going to have some really good guys that's going to be playing for Georgia Southern. This is a really good look. Absolutely a really good look. For all the accolades that these three guys that has been showing throughout high school. Also talking about Jaden McCall just actually made it official today. We got some really good players. So before I get out of here, I want to give you a rundown of what this 2023 recruiting class looks like. Now, this is according to GSEagles.com. I'm looking at it right here. And what does it say? It says that in December, we had 19 players signed, 16 from high school, 3 junior college, 11 on offense, 7 on defense, and 1 special teams. That was the punter that we picked up. Now, in January, we went right back and got 15 new transfers, 7 on offense, 6 on defense, 2 on special teams. In February, which we just talked about, we have 2 players signed, 2 from high school, 1 offense, and 1 defense. And then we still haven't mentioned Rashawn Lewis, which will be added to this down the road. So out of all those kids, you got 36 new players, 21 out of 36 enrolled this semester. So we still got 21 out of 36 already on campus. That's going to be really cool because that could be a really good transition to get these guys ready for the spring game. The other 15, 16 guys are going to be here. They're going to come in a little bit later, and that's going to work out. So this is just a really good time. We thought last year was going to be something, special, and it turned out to be. We doubled our win total. We went to a bowl game. We beat a couple of our rivals. You really can't. You really couldn't beat that. You really can't. So, but with that being said, we are going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to get better, and it looks like with this recruiting class, we've gotten better. We end up getting a couple of quarterbacks. We end up getting some wide receivers. We end up getting a lot of January transfers. We are really looking good right now. We're really looking good. So I'm really excited. I cannot wait to see where this goes. Look, basically in a little bit over 2 months, we're going to be talking about the spring game. So between now and then, there's going to be a lot to be discussing between now and then. So hopefully we'll get all that under wraps and we'll be ready to go starting, with the spring game. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, man, I think these are 3 huge commitments. I also think that with McCall coming on and all the other guys that are coming in, we're going to be having a really good team. And also, don't be surprised if you see a lot of things moving around and changing because we got a lot of talent that's just coming in, and that talent could be on the field faster than you think. I could be found on YouTube and Rumble. Also, Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Click that link for BetUS if you want to put some wagers on some games. Put $100 down, get 25% bet book bonus. Also, if you want to support the show, you can go and click down under the description for my Cash App and or PayPal. It does help the show in either way, even if you just decide to want to subscribe to the channel or if you want to subscribe to any of the podcast avenues. That would be great. I'm going to get out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I'll be back on Friday doing this thing once again. You guys take it easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.